Jeremiah chapter 22. 22. And last week we're in verse 11, and we come up against this guy here in verse 11, chapter 22. For thus saith the Lord, touching Shallum, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Okay. Now, you're not going to find Shallum on here. Okay. This is another one of those cases. People who criticize the Bible. It's full of errors and inconsistencies and stuff like that. Okay. No, it isn't, because there are several people in the Bible, that they actually get mentioned, different names in different places. Okay? And that's the case here with this guy Shallum. Okay? He was one of the sons of Josiah, king of Judah. Now, Josiah has died. Now, we've got prophecies here about three kings in verses like 10 through 12. They're prophecies about three kings, and they're in two of the previous ones. Jeremiah states that the general principle on which depend the rise and downfall of kings and nations. Okay, and now, and remember in chapter 21. We had King Zedekiah, and you can find Zedekiah on. Let's see, is Zedekiah on here? Yes, Zedekiah is on here. Okay. For his benefit, Zedekiah had a couple of guys go to Jeremiah asking, "Hey, talk to the Lord, get us out of this trouble." Okay. Zedekiah is down there in there. Okay. So, but then we've got in verse 10, weep ye not for the dead, neither bemoan him, but weep sore for him that goeth away, for he shall return no more, nor see his native country. Okay. In verse 10, Jeremiah is actually referring to Josiah. Josiah has died, okay, and this, I think this phrase, don't weep for him, but this phrase, that for him that goeth away, is touching the Shallum in verse 11. For thus saith the Lord, touching Shallum. Okay, so now who is this guy Shallum? So if we go back, we find out, well, actually, that Shallum is Jehoahaz, 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 and Jehoahaz started his reign in 609 BC. Okay, and we find out, of course, in 2 Kings chapter 23. You can turn there, 2 Kings chapter 23, and down in the last part of chapter 23, verses 31. So we find out previous verses that and actually in verse 27, the Lord said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there. So in 2 Kings, God is already, he's already planning, he's already had this plan that, that Nebuchadnezzar would move down and destroy Jerusalem. So we, rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? In his days, Josiah's days, we've got this Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him. Okay? King Josiah got the Israeli army together and to help fight this Pharaoh Necho, and so he went up against him, and Pharaoh Necho slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. So Josiah is killed in battle, and servants carried him in a chariot, dead and brought him to Jerusalem in his own sepulcher. So Josiah, remember, Jeremiah actually loved Josiah because Josiah did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Okay? People of the land, and in verse 30, people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. That's usually the case. Jehoahaz, probably the oldest son, and he becomes king. Well, so this Jehoahaz is Shallum here, okay, that Jeremiah is mentioning in verse, back there. So, but we find out Jehoahaz, or Shallum, was 23 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 3 months. He only lasted 3 months. Okay? This Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, came in. I mean, he was going, again, he went up to Assyria. He was going up to Assyria, which is, north and east of Israel, up there, and to conquer. Of course, Josiah went up against him. So, and again, as with Nebuchadnezzar, okay, coming in, Jerusalem was collateral damage, and Israel was collateral damage. Okay, and so he only lasted 3 months, and you figure, okay, son of a good king, okay, you would think, of course, don't we all have our kids? Okay, we think we're raising our kids right? Bonnie and I, we raised 2 kids, and both of them turned out pretty good. Both of them turned out good. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. But, how many times have families raised kids, and the kids, they did what they were, what they thought they were doing right with their kids, and the kids turn out to be crooks and evil. Okay? Well, that's Jehoahaz, Shallum. He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. He did evil. Okay? That's why he only lasted 3 months. Pharaoh Necho took care of him, put him in bands at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem. Okay? Again, Pharaoh Necho is in charge of the land of Israel and Jerusalem at this time. So he said, oh, no, I don't like this guy. He's not doing, he's not, Pharaoh Necho is saying, Jehoahaz, Shallum, is not doing right by me, by him. Follow that? And so, because he, Pharaoh Necho, put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. Okay, he wants money. Pharaoh Necho wants money. Okay, a talent of any metal is a block of that metal. It's like a 125-pound block. Okay, however they want to cut it up. You cut it up in small coins, but it's a 125-pound block. Just think how much 100 in today's values, 100 talents, 125-pound blocks of silver would get you. And this was probably a yearly, tribute, if you will, right? A tribute, taxes. Okay, you pay Pharaoh Necho this tax money, 100 talents of silver. What's 100 times 125? Anyway, whatever that is, and a talent of gold. Wouldn't you just love to have a 125-pound block of gold at today's prices? Yeah, that one program on TV, gold diggers. They're all these people going up to Alaska, or wherever, digging for gold, and they're trying to come up with a couple thousand ounces of gold, and they're getting millions of dollars for a couple thousand ounces of gold. Okay. Well, talent of gold, and that's the taxes that Pharaoh Necho wants from Israel. And pretty much, okay, you pay me those taxes, I'll leave you alone. I'll let you do your thing, right? So this Shalom here, okay, only lasts 3 months, and he is taken away, okay, which went forth out of this place, he shall not return thither anymore. That's this Shalom, okay. He is taken captive. He's taken to Egypt, and he does not come back. He shall die in the place whither they have led him captive, and shall see his land no more. Okay. So now so that's Shalom. Okay. Now we come down to verse 13. The next king in line, Jehoiakim. Okay. And Jehoiakim took over. He was put in place, okay, instead of Jehoiahaz by King, Pharaoh Necho. So you've got Jehoiakim now, and Jehoiakim lasts a little bit longer. Okay, made it. Yeah, in verse 34, Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, okay? And now we've got, here's another name. This is Jehoiakim, made Eliakim, another son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah his father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim. Okay? Pharaoh Necho, Egyptized Eliakim's name and that's actually Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were taken, those were their Babylonian names. Okay, when they were taken captive, Daniel had a Babylonian name. Can't remember what it is. Have to look it up. But But, they like to, you know, you take over a country, take people captive, change their name, right? Okay. Turned his name to Jehoiakim and took Jehoahaz away, and he came to Egypt and died there. And Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh Necho. Okay? See, now, okay, Jehoiakim, this guy lasts a little bit longer. Jehoiakim, according to the commandment of the Pharaoh, he exacted the silver and the gold of the people of the land. Okay? He raised the taxes of his own people just to pay off this king of Egypt, so that the king of Egypt would leave him alone. All right? That's pretty much it. And he was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And just like his younger brother, okay, verse 37, he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father had done. What went wrong with Josiah's parenting, that he had two sons who became king and then did exactly the opposite of what Dad probably taught them, right? Okay, so come down to verse 13. Verse 13 is talking about Jehoiakim. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, okay, and his chambers by wrong. And it goes on, you go on to check, more about Jehoiakim. Not only did he, raise the taxes on his own people, but he pretty much turned his own people into slave labor. Okay? And had his own people, not paying them, at least, when the children of Israel were captive in Egypt, at least they probably got paid, for some of their work at the start. Who was it? Ramses, was wanting to build all of his stuff. The children of Israel helped build a lot of Egypt. But when you kind of study see some of those documentaries on TV, as seen on TV, that tell about that, the skilled craftsmen got paid well, okay? But in this case, they don't get paid, okay? Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, okay? Shallum was not really a heartless tyrant like Jehoiakim, but Jehoiakim lived in splendor amid the misery of the nation. Okay? And he actually, when he died, nobody cared. Josiah, his dad, got a royal burial. Jehoiakim, nobody cared. His body was cast aside without burial, thrown in the dump. Okay, out there in the valley there. And his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages. His neighbors, that's his people, the people that he is supposed to be, as a king, he is supposed to be taking care of. Okay? And, let's insert a little current politics in this. You know, our king is supposed to be, you know, taking care of his people. You know, we've got, let's see, oh, we've got king over there. We've got a sub-king over here in our state. You know, they're supposed to be taking care of the people, but how good a job are they doing? Are they building their house by unrighteousness and their chambers by wrong? Oh, politics. Oh. Useth his neighbor. Huh?
That's what they call the truth.
Yeah. Use it without wages and giveth him not for his work. Okay? Thus that saith, I will build me a wide house with large chambers, and cutteth him out windows, and it is sealed. The ceilings were cedar. And cedar was the best wood. You know, you get the cedar from Lebanon. That's what the temple was used a lot of. And the tabernacle used a lot of cedar because it's really good, long-lasting wood, doesn't rot really, smells good, okay? And sealed with cedar ceilings. Don't you think, yeah, we need some cedar boards on our ceiling, right? Or, well, huh? Yeah. Or, you know, maybe we do. Yeah. There we go. And we will tax the people and not pay them. Oh, oops. Okay. And painted with vermilion. Okay. That would have been the really good, really expensive paint. Okay. And it's kind of a vermilion. What color is vermilion? Kind of a reddish color? Reddish color? Okay. Yeah. There we go. Paint it, cedar ceilings, painted red. And that's where we'll stop for today.